You'd be surprised what comes up in conversation when paleontologists spend long days in the field. Some of it is deep time in ancient ecosystems. Some of it is, well, trying to remember our fourth favorite hat. This is Fourth Favorite Hat, a look into real dig site chatter of the Montana Dinosaur Center. Each episode brings you the work, the stories, the arguments, the questions, and the odd tangents that emerge when you put scientists, shovels, fossils, and too much sun in the same place. And yes, every guest still has to answer the only question that really matters. What's your fourth favorite hat? Let's get started.
Hello everyone, my name is Andy, and my fourth favorite hat is my dad cap of the South Dakota Badlands.
I'm Bret, and my fourth favorite hat is my Lake Champlain Lake Monsters baseball cap.
I'm Bryce, and my fourth favorite hat is my wide-brimmed Denver Zoo hat.
And now, dear listeners, if you've been listening for a bit, you've probably picked up on the fact that we're epic gamers here, so it's only right that we talk about paleo-themed games, which we might as well just start with the best, Dinosaur Adventure 3D.
An absolute classic.
It really is. One of the best to ever do it.
Now, with Dinosaur Adventure 3D, this was a educational game for computers from 1999. And one day, while we were cleaning out one of our cars for the museum, I said a verbal tick that was deep, deep in my brain from that game. The way that Rolf the Parasaurolophus goes, Acrocanthosaurus. I start explaining the game, and suddenly Bryce and Brett are like, wait, I think I know this game, which led to us spending a whole night playing it and beating it. It was great. It was wonderful.
It was. We 100%ed it.
Bryce really struggled with tar bubbles.
Not gonna
I was
lie,
gonna say-
that was probably the most the game with the highest skill ceiling, I'd say.
I mean, Bryce was also struggled with making the map.
Yeah, the cave map one where you have to
The cave
connect the
map.
baby dinosaur to its mother.
I was
Bryce,
telling him which way to go, but he just got lost.
Bryce was
It's true.
struggling, and Brett just got more frustrated and kept yelling, go to the down zone.
Brett was just telling me riddles. He was a riddle master.
No, Dustin understood it.
Dustin speaks in runes. That makes sense.
I do have to side with Bryce here. I don't know if Dustin understanding things is the argument you think it is.
It's fair.
But Dinosaur Adventure 3D is a shockingly accurate game. Now, of course, we have to keep in mind 1999. Some things are outdated, but what they had was very in-depth. They had a whole series of facts to go through if you click on stuff in the background, and it wasn't just rocks are made out of rock. It's like, this rock is cooled down lava, but it made it digestible for kids.
Pretty much everything in the game had at least 3 facts associated with it, which is pretty impressive because there was a lot of stuff to click on.
Now, mind you, some of the facts weren't always great. When we played the scramble-egged games, which is where the Acrocanthosaurus verbal tick came from, some of the facts we got were 9 feet long.
Covered in England.
Yeah.
Stuff
So,
like that.
you know.
Yeah.
But, Brett, what is 9 feet long?
Oh, that's Coelophysis.
And big as a pig.
Protoceratops.
We all love this game because it's very much ingrained into our vocabulary now, the way that they say dinosaur names.
It's very funny. Andy, what's a dinosaur discovered in England?
Streptospondylis, the brave lizard.
Tyrannosaurus.
God, that game. The whole point of that game is you go around, you learn about prehistoric life and whatnot, but you gotta find dinosaur eggs hidden in the environment. You're on an island, the Mesozoic island or whatever it's called, and all 3 time periods exist on a different fraction of the island, so Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. And you gotta get baby dinosaurs and other things from there, and it's a foolproof plan, really. There's a T-Rex that's terrorizing the
spoil it.
island. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But you gotta rescue baby dinosaurs and hatch them with hatching
Defeat a T-Rex.
crystals. And Bryce, how do you get hatching crystals?
Well, you get hatching crystals. You need 3 of them for egg, mind you, by playing the different minigames around the island.
That's just how modern day hatching crystal economy works.
Yeah, not as strong as they used to.
When we booted that up, we just thought it was going to be a fun stroll down memory lane. I think we were all shocked by how accurate those facts were.
I was definitely not expecting it to be like as correct as it was, and like somebody whoever made that game, they did a lot of research.
I mean, they even talked about the elevated oxygen level of the Carboniferous, allowing for larger arthropods. You didn't need that in a kid's game.
All the facts were correct.
There were
Yeah.
some that were on the fence at the time, but even then, the research was done to give that.
Yeah, nothing really stood out as being like blatantly like wrong for the time it came out, at least. They even talked about dinosaurs having feathers, maybe.
Yeah. They really like to talk about Centarsis, which is just Coelophysis, but they gave the Centarsis a tuft of feathers, which maybe not, but the fact that they were willing to, that one's great. You know what's another really good dinosaur game with a lot of research put into it?
What?
Turok.
Rock, Dinosaur Hunter.
Have you played it?
I have.
I can't say that I have, sadly.
Turok it's a fun game. I don't know if the comic books or the game came first.
I
Forgive
didn't know
me.
there were comic books.
Yeah, Dark Horse does them. So the people who do like Hellboy and whatnot. Based on the comic books. Yeah, the comics came first. That's neither here nor there. But the first one, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, is you're a Native American warrior who has to now hunt a bunch of different dinosaurs. You're in this wacky world. I guess wacky isn't the right word. There's dinosaurs trying to kill you. Goofy, maybe. As a kid, I really didn't like it because I was hurting dinosaurs and I didn't want to do that. And also, I don't want to do that nowadays. But I kind of get how games work. When you're a kid, you think you're actually hurting things. The game was fun.
There actually were a couple, besides Dinosaur Adventure 3D, video games that were kind of important to my interest in dinosaurs growing up.
Yeah, tell us about them.
The big one would probably be the original Zoo Tycoon, specifically the Dinosaur Digs expansion. So that came out like 2001-ish, I'd say. It was this weird little blend of being kind of educational and being very not educational, where all you really do in that game, well, as the name kind of insinuates, you make a zoo. You can make like a more modern zoo. You can have ones that are from dinosaurs or various prehistoric animals, because they also include guys like Archelon or like the saber cat, stuff like that, or like aquarium stuff. But when I was a kid, I very much liked to make the dinosaur one all the time. I always just did dinosaurs. They had a pretty wide range of them too, not just like the classic. They had Caudipteryx and
Oh,
a
really?
bunch of just kind of, yeah, strange little fellows that you wouldn't really expect to be in one of those games. And if you well, for the modern animals too, if you clicked on them and then you clicked the little informational button, it would take you to this usually like 5 or 6 paragraph description of like what is known about them, with like some fun art of them like interacting with the modern day zookeepers. It was just a very fun, interesting experience with that. And funnily enough, it actually has kind of colors how I visualize some dinosaurs, like Herrerasaurus, for example, right? He's probably like one of my favorite theropods, specifically because of this inclusion in this game. The patterning they gave him is like black and white zebra stripes, and the inside of his mouth is blue. And that's just kind of how I picture him. I know that's almost assuredly not the case, but that is
Okay,
the image I have in my head.
but I can't blame you. I have that with fossil fighters and some of the dinosaurs.
Yeah. And if you were feeling kind of rambunctious, you could pick up your guests in that game and move them around to, like, put them on the path or bring them to other parts of the park. But something you could do is also drop them inside of your dinosaur enclosures. Then you can have your dinosaurs just beat them up. Usually they'd kind of just like survive and then run out of your park and give you a bad review. But if you gave them to a T-Rex, the T-Rex would kind of just like pick them up in his mouth, toss them in the air like a dog treat, and then swallow them, and then they disappeared. They just kind of ceased. So when I was a kid, so every once in a while there were some customers who would come in and they would be disgruntled because they didn't like that I didn't have like certain animals or whatever. So I would feed them to the T-Rex.
Dang, Bryce is a cruel and vicious god.
That's what they get if they don't like. Why would you go to a dinosaur park if you wanted to see a cheetah? That's kind of strange, you know? Why would you do that?
Well, cheetahs are cool.
Cheetahs are cool, and I made
I
a lot
want
of
to see a
modern zoos
cheetah.
too. There's also Dino Defender. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's heard of that game besides me.
I'm glad
It
you
is.
have met you.
Thank you. I meet myself every day. It's set in Jurassic Park universe, and the premise is like you're this little guy who's imagine like a Timu brand Halo like Master Chief outfit, and your mission is to go to the park and like tranquilize the dinosaurs so they can recover the park. It's like a side scroller view, but it's not like side scrolling. You have free control to go left and right as you wish. Platformer kind of thing. And as you go through these different levels, there's I think like 5 or 6 of them. You have to find these specific call boxes or specific like trank bombs effectively to like knock out all the carnivorous dinosaurs slash also pteranodons in order to like restore power to the park and stuff. You also get Spinosaurus a lot, and he makes very silly sounds because I don't think they have the rights to use the sounds from the movie from Jurassic Park 3. So he's just like, "Rah!" It's kind of weird.
Were you the voice actor?
I was actually, and they made a sequel to it too, which was a board game actually for some reason, and it was quite fun.
I love when sequels take a radically different form of medium. It's like, why'd you do that?
Yeah, it was bizarre. There was this one minigame in it, one in particular that always sticks in my head. You're driving a little truck around, and if you like land on a specific space, you have to do, I forget what it was called, but like the wooden bridge collapses and you have to vault your car over like a canyon somehow. And it's just like one of the ones where like a little like, speed wheel appears and you have to like time it right. But also there's like pteranodons flying. If you don't take them into consideration, you'll hit them and then fall into the abyss and be very sad. But if you make it, this is one of my unique little vocal tics in my head forever now. If you make it, the announcer guy goes, "Wow, it's almost like that truck had wings."
Nice.
I can't find a clip of that anywhere, but it's in my head.
There's a game I can't find that a similar thing. So it was a Jurassic Park game,
Mm,
I played it on the computer at a daycare, the kid corner of a gym my parents used to go to.
mm.
And I swear to God it's real, but no one knows what I'm talking about, and I don't know how to Google it. But you're a raptor with bionic armoring and a robot hand, and you're running around shooting the bad dinosaurs. But I swear it was Jurassic Park license.
Mm.
It was so cool. Because what's cooler than a dinosaur? A cyborg dinosaur.
That's fair. That's very fair. Maybe, you know what, Andy? Next season, we can try to find that and we can play it.
Promises, promises, we're doing this. This is Andy from the future. While editing this episode, I found the game I was talking about. It was a PC game called Nanosaur. Actually has nothing to do with Jurassic Park, they just had spitting Dilophosaurs. And don't worry, I fully intend to make Bryce keep his promise. All right, back to the past. Also, while we were discussing, I remembered a game I couldn't get too far into because it got a little too hard for me, but it was a DS game.
Mm.
You used your touchscreen. There was a series of them, the Battle of Giants. And
Oh,
yeah, Battle of
I
Giants
had the dinosaur
dinosaurs.
one too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that one was great. And you attack by drawing more and more complicated shapes on the DS touchscreen, and the harder the shape is, the stronger the attack. And
Mm.
there were some weird enemies in it. I remember fighting a tractor, the dinosaur's natural enemy.
It's true.
No, that one was fun though.
You kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but there's also on the DS track of things.
Mhm.
There's Fossil Fighters and a very similar game, but it's a little slightly different, Dinosaur King.
Dinosaur King and Fossil Fighters are phenomenal. It is Pokemon with dinosaurs.
Pretty much.
However, that should be exciting to hear and not like, oh, it's just a ripoff. It's, oh, thank God they finally did it. It was so good.
It really was.
One bit of damage, though, it made me think for the longest time Daspletosaurus was a bulky guy. They're actually much more slender than T-Rex. Just the sprite they had for Dasplo. They didn't use the full dinosaur names, they abbreviated them. But he is a squat fella. He's the attack class dinosaur with the highest defense points.
It's
And
pretty impressive.
as somebody who always loved to max defense in any RPG, he was my guy.
Weren't like all the theropods in that game fire types, if I remember right? Or
No,
am I misremembering?
they were a wide range of different types. You're thinking of Dinosaur King, where
Yeah.
a lot of theropods were fire type.
I had them both, so I mixed them up heavily.
I can't blame you. Okay, Dinosaur King anime, they were mad lads because they got the same voice actors from Pokemon to do the same characters, basically. Like the voice of Jessie played the Jessie stand-in.
Mm.
The voice actress who does Ash from Pokemon, I think his name was Max or something.
Yeah.
Just some real mad lads of voice casting. They were like, I know what this is.
Yeah.
These are where we're getting into like the fringe dinosaur games, but it matters to me, and this is our podcast, so I'm gonna allow it. The Yu-Gi-Oh! DS and Game Boy games, I would make dinosaur decks. Does that
That's
count?
fair.
I think
I
it
think
counts.
so. And I mean, if it makes you feel better, in like more modern Yu-Gi-Oh, there have been some pretty strong dinosaur decks. So
Do you keep track of that? I tried to look at modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules, and I saw my nose bleeding.
every once in a while, I get how most of it works. I'm just really bad at like, oh geez, what did they call it? It's like link summoning. Link summoning is the one that kind of confuses me, but all the rest of them make sense to me.
Okay, what's pendulum summoning then?
Oh, sorry, I misspoke. Pendulum summoning is the weird one. Link summoning's fine.
What's link summoning then? I don't get either.
That's fair. Link summoning is when you have those cards have like the little like directional arrows,
Okay.
and the little directional arrows are like the spaces they interact with effectively, because they usually have some sort of special effect, like things over there have some effect, or your opponent gets blocked in this space or whatever, and you kind of just tribute someone for them like normal, but they just have their like directional effects.
Wild. I just looked
Uh,
up some more modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Dinosaur cards. This one's called Soul Eating Oviraptor. Dog, it's an Oviraptor. They're
yeah,
they're just they're just birds. Hi, this is Andy from the future again. In that moment, I said Oviraptors are just birds. That's incorrect. I'm using hyperbole. Oviraptors and birds are different parts of the Theropoda group, closely related. What I'm referring to is the fact that their toothless beaks and general frailness of their bones makes them very bird-like. I know you wanted me to fact check in this Yu-Gi-Oh! Rant portion of the episode. Okay, back to the past a second time.
He's an Oviraptor who took up necromancy.
And then in Warhammer Total War 3, if you do the Lizard Man playthrough, you get your cold ones and your carnosaurs. And they're not dinosaurs, but they're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And you get Krukgar. He's one of the legendary lords. He's a Lizard Man warrior with a robot arm that shoots holy lasers and rides a T-Rex named Grimlock, but spelled with a Q to avoid copyright issues.
Yes, Grimlock. You wouldn't want to infringe on Grimlock the Transformer.
I wouldn't. He's a dinosaur and a robot. That's two more things that I'm not. He could beat me
That's
up.
true.
But,
You know.
I gotta go for the dinosaurs. They're there.
Yeah. Likewise, you kind of mentioned that Fossil Fighters and Dinosaur King were Pokemon, but with dinosaurs, which is very true.
Mhm.
Actual Pokemon also has dinosaurs and other prehistoric life as well.
I mean, yeah.
The classic. Well, they're not really classic, but I guess it's like a decade old now. That's almost classic, right? Tyrant and Tyrantrum, the T-Rex Pokemon.
I mean, you could even start with Gen 1. They had Aerodactyl and Kabutops, so a pterosaur and then a trilobite that turns into a sea scorpion type fella, kinda.
Kinda, yeah. Jury's out on if Kabuto is either a trilobite or a horseshoe crab, but Kabutops is definitely a sea scorpion type fella.
That's fair.
There's also Omanite and Omastar, who are ammonites / snails.
Yeah.
They're similar.
My favorite Pokemon game was always Pokemon Diamond, so I gotta represent Rampardos.
That's fair. The Pachycephalosaur guy.
Yeah, big Pachycephalosaur. Bastiodon was cool, but not great.
Yeah. Bastiodon's fun. He's like a little Ceratopsian type fella.
Yeah.
There's also Armaldo / Anorith, who is based off of Anomalocaris.
I did love the Hoenn ones because they just went for Burgess Shale weirdos.
Yeah, and the Crinoid, Cradilly / Louis.
Yeah. I mean, wait, you don't get Crinoids on the Burgess Shale. They went for deep sea weirdos.
Yeah, which is cool. Then there's, of course, Gen 5, where there's Arcan / Archeops, who, if you could guess kind of by the name, Archaeopteryx.
Is that the one that gets depressed if you slap him?
Yeah, he has one of the two worst abilities in the game, Defeatist, where he has great stats, but if you get him below half health, he just gets severely nerfed and it's very sad.
Bryce and Brett have to put up with the fact that one of their best buddies is a Digimon fan. I like Pokemon and all, but I know Digimon better, so I'll be like, which one is that?
That's fair.
They tried to explain the names of paradox forms. Is that what they're called?
Oh, they're not forms. There's paradox Pokemon, where based off of a machine that's in a crater that got made a bit ago, it's giving life to concepts that were written about. They never technically lived before, so they're imaginary Pokemon almost.
And you give me so much guff for liking Digimon, and you just
Digimon's
said
silly.
How is that not silly?
I mean, it makes perfect sense. It was a time machine thing that wasn't really a time machine.
You just talked about hypothetical Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how you get guys who are prehistoric, quote unquote, or futuristic versions of legendary Pokemon that's not really possible for.
That's such a pet peeve of mine, and I know it's such a nitpicking pet peeve. I've never liked it when they're like, oh, this is an ancestor of a modern animal. Make it bigger, make it spiky. That's what the past was like. And yes, some things were bigger and spikier in the past, but not all of them.
Yeah, though they did some pretty cool things with Entei, Suicune, and Raikou, where Entei ended up becoming a Styracosaurus, which is pretty fun.
It's a dog.
Not anymore.
Now it's a Styracosaurus.
What the?
Yeah, Raikou became a Brachiosaurus type fella, and Suicune became a T-Rex like fella.
They're all pretty cool.
But they're dogs.
They're really cool. Well, not
anymore.
not in make 'em up land.
Okay, you give me so much guff about one Digimon becoming something else, and then you're like, oh yeah, also the dog's a T-Rex now. This is justice for Andy.
Technically, the Suicune can't become the T-Rex. They're exclusively separate.
They're just inspired by one another.
Yeah, because some guy got lost in a crater and had some fan fiction and wrote it down, and then the machine brought it to life.
Listeners, type #justice for Andy.
I think technically the only real Paradox Pokemon that technically actually existed were Koraidon and Miraidon.
Well, but they don't exist. They're fictional.
In canon.
You can put them in a cannon? Do they survive getting shot out?
I'd say so, yeah. They're pretty durable.
Now, which one of them is the lizard that eats sandwich?
Technically, both of them.
Both of them.
Koraidon is going to be the Aztec lizard-looking guy.
He's the red
cool.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, that is like the lizard men from Warhammer.
And Miraidon is going to be the sleek robot lizard guy.
Oh, that's less like the lizard men from Warhammer.
It's true. He's also less cool than
not fully
Koraidon.
dissimilar. I'm just gonna say it. They don't know how lizard biology works.
That's fair. Did either of you ever hear about the card game that I think is dead now called Chaotic?
Yes, I loved
No.
Chaotic.
Fun game.
Every now and then, Bryce and I will be walking around the museum and just say a reference for no one but each other.
Brett, and for the listeners who also have likely never heard of this, in this there are like 5 main tribes or like flavors of like kingdoms almost of
There
like
used to only
monsters
be
that you can kind of
4.
play. Was there only 4?
Well, it started with 4 and then the 5th one invaded.
Yeah.
You had the Overworlders, the Underworlders, Mepedians, and what were the bugs?
Weren't they like the Danians or something?
I'm looking it up. Yeah, the Danians. And then the 5th one was the Marillions, which were like deep sea cosmic horrors.
Yeah. So the Mepedians are going to be the ones that have the more dinosaur-inspired guys, as well as
Yeah.
just lizard guys.
Yeah, they were great. I loved the Mepedians. Of course, like the main characters use overworld and underworld monsters.
There are the 4 main cast members. Each one of them specialize in one of the 4 main tribes.
Yeah, there was Kaz or Chaz, I forget his name, was the underworld guy.
Kaz was the underworld guy, yeah.
And then, was it Owen who was the Mepedians?
I believe so, yeah. And I forget her name, but the lady in the Danians.
What was the main character's name? He was very
I think it was like
boring.
Max. I'm pretty sure
Probably.
it was Max.
Boring name for a boring guy.
I mean, the overworld was just the boring ones, so.
It's one of those things of, we're the good guys in this war of racism.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was a...
I think I still have some cards somewhere.
Oh, I definitely still have mine. Bryce, we should play at some point.
We could.
I don't remember any of the rules.
Neither do I.
Oh, and then magic was based off of music, so they called it Music.
There's no way
Yeah.
that's real.
It is.
What do you mean there's no way that's real? I have Bryce to corroborate. Yeah, so I count that as a dinosaur game. I shouldn't, but I do.
I mean, it's about as much as one as Yu-Gi-Oh. So
Yu-Gi-Oh
I mean,
has
if we're going that
Trackdog.
route, Magic the Gathering also has dinosaur decks.
Yeah, but I'm too broke to get Magic the Gathering cards.
That's fair.
Brett brings up a great point. Yu-Gi-Oh does have Trachodon, which is a dinosaur you love talking about.
It's true, but Trachodon in Yu-Gi-Oh is like a little raptor guy.
Yeah.
But Trachodon in science is actually a dubious species. It was named from mainly hadrosaur teeth. A lot of Trachodon material ended up being, well, all of it did really, ended up belonging to different dinosaurs, but most famously, a lot of it was actually just Edmontosaurus.
Womp womp.
A lot of things end up being just Edmontosaurus, to be fair.
He's a good guy to be, though.
It's true. He's pretty fun.
Yeah.
He was, I think, when I was a kid at least, he was my favorite hadrosaur.
Trachodon
And
or
he was, like,
Edmontosaurus?
Edmontosaurus.
Okay.
I had this Monosaurus that was kind of based on like the more traditional Titan model. So him on 2 legs with his little arms and his great big like duck beak.
Mm,
But belly was like gray and his back was a very pleasing shade of yellow.
that sounds familiar.
That's the same coloration that the one on the poster in the bathroom at the museum has.
That's why it sounds familiar.
But yeah, that was one of
Right,
my
is it
favorite
the same
little
shade
guys.
as that?
I think it's a little bit brighter.
Okay. But you know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
And you, listeners, can also know if you come to our museum and use the bathroom.
it's true.
Only
but
if you're
one of the
only if you're a
bathrooms.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the men's
Oh,
bathroom.
they're single stall bathrooms. The men-woman sign means nothing.
Well, the men's one has a urinal in the corner randomly.
Yeah, and apparently only I use that.
Oh, and yeah,
Sure,
you had to
plenty
walk
of
like
people use it.
3 times as far. The toilet's right there.
Man, this is probably what a bunch of people wanted from their dinosaur podcast is the urinal math.
It's true. Everyone is a big urinal fan here.
Maybe that should be next episode. Top 10 favorite urinals.
That'd be a good one. Could we do top 10 fictional urinals?
Are you saying that none of the top 10 urinals can be real?
I mean, we can do an episode for each, like top 10 real ones and top 10 fictional ones.
I thought
Okay.
you meant an episode for each urinal, and it's like, Bryce, no.
No, that'd be absurd. That's crazy. We only need 2 episodes out of this.
Well, I'm sure you guys could tell we are very much a fan of these games. We love playing them, we love talking about them, and we'd love to hear what you guys think. What dinosaur games have you played? What are your favorites? Let us know in the comments.
Give
But-
us some recommendations of games to play.
yeah, especially if they're free. I've been Andy,
I'm Brett.
I might one day in the future be Bryce.
and we hope you guys have a wonderful day.
That's one conversation down, and there's millions more waiting for us out in the ancient dirt. If you want to join the crew on their next auditory adventure, subscribe to the Fourth Favorite Hat, the Montana Dinosaur Center podcast, available wherever podcasts are distributed. You can follow the museum on social media at TM Dinosaur Center, visit tmdinosaurcenter.org, or swing by the museum in Bynum, about 80 minutes north of Great Falls on Highway 89. Thanks for listening.